Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Immigration Nation. I'm your host for today. My name is Klein, and I'm so excited to be here with Erin Lee. Erin, thank you so much for being here today. If you want to just let our listeners know what we'll be going over today and a little bit about you and your firm.
Hi, Klein. Thanks so much for having me today on the podcast. Just a little bit about me. I've just been in the immigration practice for about 13 years now. I'm located in Escondido, California, in San Diego County, but I service people all over the world. Um, yeah, I do kind of everything immigration, family based, mostly, but some employment based as well. My parents are immigrants. They came in the late 70s. So, although I was born here, but we spoke Korean in the family, so I speak Korean. And then I learned Spanish in high school. And funny story about how I got my first job or even landed in immigration in the first place was, I graduated in 2009 when the world was not doing so well. The economy went flat and there were no jobs. So there was one opportunity in an immigration law firm that required me to speak Spanish. And so I fibbed a little bit. I mean, it was stretched, but it wasn't a lie.
Hey, who doesn't?
Yeah. So I said, oh, yeah, I speak Spanish. I took high school Spanish. Got this, right? Like, whatever. And
Yeah.
so I fortunately they didn't test me at this job, but I got the job and then I started practicing immigration law and I was like, oh wow, okay, I need to really brush up on my Spanish. So I
Wow.
literally I bought a book. I think it's on my bookshelf over here somewhere, but I bought a book and I kind of reviewed what I had learned and then I just started working, with just a lot of Spanish speakers. So I just kind of got immersed and sink or swim, Klein, you learn so I learned immigration law in Spanish pretty much. And then but so I can speak like immigration Spanish, but I
Right.
probably can't order at a restaurant,
You're
probably.
kidding. That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but
Wait, that is so funny.
yeah.
Well, at least what better way to immerse yourself than to just say, "Yeah, I'm fluent."
Yeah. I
That's
had no
awesome.
choice.
So in this episode, I really want to get back to the basics. We've kind of been all over the place on Immigration Nation from our start. I think we started like a whole year ago now, which sounds crazy to me looking back, but let's get back to the basics. Just, we're in the immigration realm, there's so much, there's non-immigrant visas and immigrant visas, and I used to not even know the difference between that. There's business, family, there's so much. So if I was a client and I had an immigration issue and I walked into your office and I said, what are the top three things that I should know about United States immigration? What would you tell me?
Yeah, so much, right? There's so much information out there. And look, immigration, I when I started, not only did I not know Spanish, I didn't know anything about our immigration system, actually. I didn't know the difference between a green card. What's the difference between a green card and being a citizen? And,
Mm.
it was crazy. But yeah, there's so many different little things that one should look out for. But in a general sense, like you said, if we're going down to the basics, if anybody wants to immigrate to the United States, all you really need to know is, okay, how am I going to do that? You need to have some kind of connection. So there's family based. So I have a spouse, a parent, a child, an aunt, an uncle, a sibling. Some kind of connection, familial connection can get you here, or an employment base. So an employer, a company wants to transfer you here, or they want to sponsor you. And like you said, there's non-immigrant and immigrant. I only want to be here for a few years. I want to be here forever. So it just really depends. And then outside of those two general categories, of course, there's some specialty visas like victims of crimes or domestic violence. And then there's, of course, like asylum and removal defense if you're in removal proceedings. But in a general sense, that's just kind of how our immigration system works.
Yeah, so much information out there for for me to learn in English, not you in Spanish.
Hmm.
Um, what would you say like you kind of see more often on a day-to-day basis in your immigration firm, something that's kind of really relevant in the San Diego area, maybe, or even if it's, countrywide, is there something that you see over and over and over, or what's that kind of?
I can tell you, I guess, because I'm in San Diego and we are at the border, we do see a lot of asylum seekers at the moment. But I would have to say my favorite type of case, though, that I see often, and I'm like, yes, like I love these cases,
Yeah.
are the marriage-based ones. I get a lot of like, oh, I met somebody, or I'm, been with my girlfriend or boyfriend for so many years, and we want to get married, but we don't know where to start. I just love those because, you know, I get to tell kind of like their love story. So maybe I'm a little bit of a romantic at heart, or I watch too many telenovelas or something. But yeah, I love those cases, and yeah, just telling those stories. I know through forms and writing and things like that, but for me, it's like really fun to hear their stories and to um, translate that into kind of their like legal into a
Yeah.
legal brief. So
Yeah.
those are my favorite, and I see those a lot, and I like it.
Those sound really fun.
Hmm.
I bet you meet like a bunch of like really fun people through that too.
Yeah, so many, and you hear so many different stories of how people meet, and how
Oh,
their stories, and I always like I'm so intrigued. I love it.
oh, that's awesome. Um, so is there anything that you see in your office, like when someone comes in and they sit down that they're just like so confused about? And I know like with the UCIS website, they're always coming out with new, news and updates and stuff like that. So of course people can get confused from time to time, but is there anything that, people are like always confused about when they come and they ask about immigration?
Good question. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but also a lot of information out there. So when people say like, "Oh, I did a little Google search," I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 no.
No.
Don't do that. Don't fall down that rabbit hole." Yeah, and with social media, you get sometimes like 30-second bits from people saying certain things, and um every case is so different, and everybody tells me, oh, but my neighbor and my friend or my this got this, and almost 100% of the time, pretty much, it's like, well, their case was totally different. So it's important to speak to a knowledgeable attorney who can kind of understand your entire situation. And people's goals are different too, right? Like I said, some
Mhm.
people just want to stay for a few years, some people don't. So it just really is important to do like sit down and do some planning with an attorney who can kind of guide you through that process without all the noise on Google.
100%. And to our listeners out there, Erin is the best of the best. So go and visit her if you're local. And if not, give her a call. She's going to let us know her website, phone number, and all that good stuff at the end of the episode. But do you have like a favorite story that you always tell your clients or, family members? Like, what's a really great success story that you're like super proud of?
Yeah. Oh my. I feel like I have so many stories.
Mm.
I kind of tell myself maybe I should write a book about them.
You
But
should.
Um, I think most recently I had a family who the father was, about to be deported, so we needed to file um, you know, motions with the courts, and we fought his case for years. And then finally, just I think last week I received an order from the Board of Immigration Appeals saying we approve your motion to dismiss this case, meaning he no longer has any threat of deportation. So he's just going to be here with his US citizen wife and his children and just continue life, together with his family without any threat of deportation. And I think for me, when they say like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, for me, that's just so rewarding. And like, work doesn't seem like work, honestly, when at that point.
Oh, that is so awesome. And just last
Yeah.
week too, after years and years and years.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so touching. And I'm sure you get stories like that all the time. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I see my clients' kids grow up and,
Oh,
it's really, really rewarding and fun.
that is so awesome. Erin, just to close us out, if you could just say, whatever you want to say to our listeners and, give us a plug for your website, phone number, ways to get in contact with you today.
Yeah. I think what I want to say is, be ready to put up a fight and put in the work. It's not super easy, even with an attorney, we all have to work together. So, but it can be fun and easy. We make it as painless as possible. So, yeah, my website is erinjlee.com, erinjlee.com. Our number is 705-3676, and we'd love to help you out.
Great. Erin, thank you so much for coming on Immigration Nation today. We appreciate you and we're definitely looking forward to have you on again sometime.
Thanks, Klein. Have a great day.
This podcast has been prepared for general information purposes only and is not legal advice. This information is not intended to create, and receipt of it does not constitute an attorney-client relationship.